What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Compound. I wanted to do an update, a quick update, because we have gone a little bit lower than whenever I bought last. I was saying, let's see, somewhere on these days, I forget which day it was. Maybe it was this green day, or maybe it was this red day here. I was saying that I was pretty convinced that this was the low, and that we could go a little bit lower. You know, the potential there is still definitely there. To go to this golden zone. But look at this, man. Kind of a, depending on how the coming days react, this is kind of a very bullish setup. You didn't even technically hit your 618. You got really close to it, and that's a very bullish look. But, you know, if today we go down there, then that changes that. So let's get confirmation. Let's see if this is a bullish bounce indeed and continue to go up from here, something like that. Yes, we did go a little bit lower. I'm not worried about it. I've loaded up my bags. I bought, I've been DCing into Compound since it was all the way at $58. Just DCing down. And I went really heavy, bought a lot of Compound. Right around this area here, between about 41 and 45, or maybe it was 42 and 45. I can't remember. I'd have to check. 42 and 44 maybe. And here we are at 41, 43. So we're a little bit down, and that's why I wasn't really too worried about it, because this was a previous area of resistance. Thought we might have been turning it into support. Kind of in the middle of this range too. It kind of made sense to me. We had like some fake out looking candles and potentially finding support on this previous area of resistance as well. But the 618 and the 69 were down here, so I'm very much prepared for that to happen. And even if you bought up here at this top at 45, 55, coming down, that's like a 14% drop at the maximum as far as expectations go. So I wasn't really too worried about that personally. I do think that we're going to hold this higher low formation intact. I do think that we're going, we're on our way up. Let's look at the daily here. Look at this RSI. Kind of looks weak, but we have found support in this area a few times, so we might get a little bounce up here. Let's see if we can get this bounce to take us above the 50, and then maybe back into this bullish area of control. That'd be nice to see. Get a higher low overall on this RSI. Continue making, maybe not a higher high, but strides into this overbought zone. On the weekly, very nice. Like kind of a classic area for us to find this low here. I wouldn't think that we would come down again, though we could. We could come lower on the weekly and it would still look fine, but just very strong formation in the weekly that's been forming really since June of last year. So I don't know. I think, overall week to week by the end of this year, it's definitely going to be up from where it is now. We're still in this overall range, right? You can see here. We're definitely not breaking out just yet, but I have been saying, in my previous videos that I think we're going to break out by the end of this year, and that we could see quite the fantastic move, something that would take us up toward, let's see, I would think, somewhere around like 170, maybe even higher. Let's see. I forget what I said in my last video. I should have this written down, I guess. I don't know, 94. Maybe up to 224, somewhere in that range. So that, yeah, 170 is like right in the middle, so that's fine. Yeah, somewhere in there. I do think that by the end of the year is possible, regardless of when it happens. The things to look for, as far as time prediction goes, I can be wrong, but as far as what to look for when it is go time for this thing to break, you want to see stuff like this. You want to see volume increasing like this, right? But obviously, you don't want it to be here. You want it to be above this high here. When we get a weekly close above this high here, really, I think throughout this whole formation, I think getting a weekly close above here might be enough. But like this could have been a fake out, right? And we're still in it. But overall, we're definitely in this range, however you want to cut it. Maybe if we moved it up to this previous high here, I don't know, something like that. When we get a week to close above this week here, that'll be the real, like, indicator that this breakout is for real, that we are going to go higher. We're going to see a very fantastic move that probably takes us up to this purple line or beyond it overall. Again, I would think by the end of the year. Here we are, a little bit over the first week in October. There's plenty of time left in the year to make that kind of move, right? In 2 weeks' time, I guess 3 weeks' time, we moved up 204%. that same kind of move, you know, and this from where we are now, that would take us all the way up to this purple line in about 3 weeks time. So let alone the rest of the year. So I do think that we have enough time to do that. And again, if that prediction's wrong, if it's not by the end of the year, sometime in the beginning of next year, you know, whatever. I'm not as good at time analysis as I am at price analysis. So when is always a good question, but it will it happen, I think is something I'm better at answering. I don't know if that made sense, man. I'm bad at answering when it will happen. I'm better at answering if it will happen. If that makes sense, yeah. Anyways, guys. Anyways, that's really all I have to say. You know, I felt like I owed you guys a video because compound has gone a little bit lower than, you know, I was personally. I wouldn't say that I was expecting it to. I definitely, you know, I mentioned enough times that it could go lower, that there's a decent chance that it could. But, you know, I was saying that I was pretty confident that that was the low. So I wanted to do an update on this because I'm not scared, man. I can be wrong and I'll still talk about it. It's okay. Nobody can be right, you guys. If you're watching anybody on YouTube and they're right all the time, there should be a red flag. Don't buy their programs, because if they can't own their shit, you should not buy their shit. That's my opinion. Anyways, talking about that, I really want to just keep it relevant to TA, but again, this RSI does leave, I don't know, there is potential for it to go down, but we are in an area of support previously, even over here, so we could come up and have a nice reaction. I don't know. It depends. Let's see if this bounce off this 618 is the real deal. Let's get some confirmation from low to high here that this is the real deal, that we are going to go higher. We're holding this area as support. If not, you know, if we come down here, if we close below the 618 in the next couple days or so, maybe by the end of the week even, that would be a little bit more condemning that we could go lower, actually. So, and by lower, I don't mean down here. I mean, we could go down here. It is possible we could go down here. I don't think it's going to happen personally. I do think this was the low, but you know, maybe at least to like $36 or something like that, a little bit more dramatic than like an overall drop of 14% from this high here. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.